Hello. How many of you have grown up at home with both your mom and dad? I am happy to say I am one of the lucky ones. It sadly is not as common as it was years ago. After doing a lot of research on this, I am going to speak to you about how growing up in a single parent home can affect a child's behavior, education, and future. All of my research supports the idea that the best home for children to be raised in is a two-parent home. Children who grow up in two-parent homes tend to be more successful than the children who grow up in single-parent homes. So we must keep this in mind before having children without being married or emotionally ready. First, I will tell you about how growing up in a single-parent home can affect a child's health. It has been proven that children who grow up in single-parent homes are more likely to develop health problems both mentally and physically. There was a study that was published in the Lancet Medical Journal that tracked approximately 1 million children into their mid-20s. The kids were between the ages of 6 and 18 when the study started. More than half of the kids were in the teenage years. Of the kids being studied, 60,000 were living with just their mothers and 5,500 were living with just their fathers. There was a large group of children who lived with both parents so they can compare results. The study found that the children that grew up in single-parent homes were 2 times more likely to suffer from mental illnesses such as anxiety and severe depression. They were also 2 times more likely to develop alcohol and drug-related diseases. I read an article called "The Impact of the Family Formation Change on the Cognitive, Social, and Emotional Well-Being of the Next Generation." In this article, Professor Paul Amado of Pennsylvania State University stated that children who grow up in two-parent homes receive more effective parenting, experience more cooperative co-parenting, and are emotionally closer to both parents and are subjected to fewer stressful events and circumstances. In another study, Professor Emma Fitzsimmons from the Institute of Education found similar results. She found that 27% of teenage girls that live with a single parent suffer from high levels of depression and anxiety. The children who were tested from two-parent homes had a significantly lower findings of depression and anxiety. It is very important for a child's health to have 2 very involved parents. Next, I'm going to tell you how children from the single-parent homes are negatively affected in academics. Children who grow up in single-parent homes are also affected academically. Today, most of the children who are living with one parent only are living with their mother. This sometimes makes a child struggle in school due to the financial reasons as well. When children grow up in two-parent home, they usually have a better chance financially of receiving a better education. A parent may have to work more to make ends meet, so they are not available as much to help their child with schoolwork and to make sure they are keeping up with their schooling. Data results from the National Survey of Youth states that for every $100 of child support a parent receives from the other parent, their child's standardized test scores increase by 1/8 to 0.7 of a point. Children from single-parent homes are also 2 times more likely to quit school and get a job. They see their parents struggling to pay bills and try to get a job to contribute financially to the family. During the Millennium Cohort Study, a study that assesses children every year for basic skills such as numeracy and literature, Professor Emma Fitzsimmons stated that on both the basic education skills and outcomes, children in single-parent homes appear to do worse. It's important for both parents to be present in home, so that's why one is working, one can be there to help their children with education. Lastly, I will tell you how the future of children living in single-parent homes could be impacted. After many studies, it has been found that adults who have grown up in single-parent homes have lower levels of happiness and well-being. Dr. Sakura Lamola from Warwick's Department of Physiology found that adults that lived in a single-family home in their childhood years are more likely to be unemployed, and if they do have a job, they make approximately 30% less than people who grew up in two-parent homes. They were also found to have fewer close friends and were about 10% less likely to be in a relationship. 86% of adults with mental illnesses come from fatherless homes. 92% of adults that come from a fatherless home are more likely to get a divorce in their life. 80% of adult rapists come from single-parent homes. As you know, raising a child with both parents is detrimental to not only their health, but their education and their future. These are all some scary statistics. After hearing all this, I hope you now see just important a two-family home can be for a child. Living with both parents will benefit a child and their future physically, mentally, financially, and academically. We must do better for our children. Hopefully more people see the repercussions of getting divorced or not raising their children together and try harder for their children. Thank you.